Alright guys, today I'm going to be sharing a few things I'd like to see in Persona 6 from Atlus in the next game that comes out, whether it's going to be Persona 6 or Persona 5 Racing or Dancing or something like that. In fact, we already have a Persona 5 Dancing. What we need is something else. What have we not had? Persona 5 Arena Ultimax, we need that. So, anyway, the first thing that I would like to see in Persona 6 would be a good platinum for PS4. It's not that important, but it is nice to go for a trophy. A really hard one. Persona 4 and Persona 5, the original ones had really hard trophies to go for. I don't even have the one for Persona 4 because it would just take so long. I've played the game through once, I'm probably going to play it again and actually get the platinum eventually. But that gives you more replayability when you play the game. So, because like I said, Persona 5, Scrambled and Royal both had quite an easy platinum, and once it's done, that's it done. So it'd be good to get a semi-challenging one. You don't want to have one that's like tedious where you have to like do like 3 playthroughs or something like that. Just something that's passive that you can do that actually requires a bit of skill. It'd also be nice if the Nintendo Switch people, the Joy-Con boys, actually get some love and get Persona 6 on their console. Maybe even the Soldier console if Atlus are feeling generous. Stuff like that. Another feature that would be cool to see is unlockable recipes, just like in Persona 5 Strikers, where you can cook the food and then you can use it in battle and all that kind of stuff. You would have to create the dish multiple times to master it to get extra benefits from it. For like healing and social skills, you can get that kind of stuff. So you can get charm and healing while you make the stuff, and even a confidant point if you decide to share the food with others. So basically just an update of the P5S cooking mechanics in Persona 6 would be a very nice addition. Something else I would actually like to see is shiny variants of Personas. Just like how it is in Pokemon, you can get a shiny version that's rare and it has like a different visual effect and all that kind of stuff. That would be cool, and you can actually claim the Persona and use it in that form. Also, the return of Showtime attacks would be a welcome addition. It was good in Royal and Scramble, so they could always add QTEs, the quick time events, so it would add a bit of strategy, so it's not just a little bit of a clutch crutch thing. So let's say you'd have to press like X, square, triangle for example, at the right time just to get the maximum damage. That would add a bit of like more layer and depth, because sometimes the Showtime can be really clutchy and crutch, like it's a bit too easy. Like it does a lot of damage, so it would be good if there was a little bit of an element of strategy towards it, whether it's like timing or having to press it at the right time. Another thing I'd like to see is a female protagonist option, just for that extra replayability, and you get a different perspective of the game. Personally, I've never went through the female protagonist route on Persona 3 Portable. That's the only time that it's been featured as an option, so it would be nice to see that return, just to have like I said, a bit of replayability and just a different side of the story, Now, of course, everybody loves ailments. It's one of the favourite things. Nothing better than getting hit by poison or like sleep. It's one of the best feelings ever. So another one we could add is bleeding. So if you're hit by a critical or a physical or a normal melee attack, there's a chance that you could be inflicted with bleed and then you start bleeding. Just like how poison works, but it'll just like you'll be bleeding. So like you'll be like spilling red juice. And of course, personas that don't have blood are not affected by this. So like if there's like a robot or one of those gas personas, I forget what his name is, Corazon, something like that. What else wouldn't be affected by it? Just things that don't have blood. So this feels like a super stretch, but it would be cool to have an extra party member that you could potentially miss during the story. So like you just have to find them, seek them out, and recruit them as part of your party. If you don't find them, you don't get them as a party. So obviously they can be so overpowered that if you miss them, it would kind of be annoying to like keep playing through the game without them. It just has a little extra bonus, like it could be someone that's not that OP. It could be like a pet or something like that, or just someone that isn't that strong. So yeah, you'd have to find this party member. It would just become a natural confidant, but then they have the option to become a party member if you do the right things and say the right things. Another thing they could add to the battle mechanics is physical attacks that require active input to perform. Just like in Paper Mario, I've probably got a bit of gameplay showing of Paper Mario right now. So like if you time it right, you can get another hit, and it will stack up to maybe 3 or 5 times depending on the move. One quality of life change I would do for Persona 6 would be have cosmetic costumes show up before you actually put them on. Because when you do it right now, if you just scroll through the menu, it just says the name, you don't actually know what the cosmetic item looks like. So you have to put it on, leave the menu, check what it looks like. So it's not really, you can't really tell what it looks like until you actually put it on. So just the ability to preview it before you put it on would be nice. Nothing that important, but it would be cool. And on the topic of quality of life changes, it would be nice if you could turn down the voice or just sound settings in general, just for music. If you want to turn the music real up, turn the voices down, because sometimes the voices can be loud. Another cool feature they could add in Persona 6 is haggling. So if you jump into a shop, it could be certain shops that you go to, not every shop has to accept it. So you go in there, you have to have a certain amount of guts to have a chance of getting a discount on your purchases. And it can also be another QTE thing, because that's just the same as Shadow Hearts. That's where I get the idea from. You have a chance to haggle with someone, you can get like 10% discount on your purchase, which could be handy. It would add, like I said, another bit of a strategy to the game. Also really like the secret social stats in Persona 5. For example, if you go into the smoothie place on Sundays, you get guts. Like you pay 5,000 for the smoothie, and then you get a chance to get a random social link thing, whatever it's called, a social point. So having more of those scattered around the city or like the town or wherever Persona 6 is going to be based would be cool. It just gives you more exploration, you know. And I got a few more ideas. Another one would be the ability to buy a pet in Persona 6. So you buy one, it can just go around with you. It'll increase your kindness passively if you feed it. If you don't feed it, then obviously you're not going to gain any kindness, and then it'll just die and pass away, which won't be very good. So if you have the pet, take care of it, you'll increase the kindness, and you can also go into like the metaverse with you and passively find support items. Would be a kind of cool feature. It reminds me of Pokemon Go. Like I said, that's where I got the idea from. You can have like a pet and then it finds the candy for you. Just like that, but in Persona 6 would be cool. So all I've been saying is things that I would add to Persona 6. One thing I would like to have changed is the god final bosses. They do get just a bit stale. We've had quite a few games that have like the same kind of thing. Nocturne is a god. I don't actually know if Nocturne is a god final boss. I assume it is. I've not actually beat Nocturne because I keep getting slapped, you know. It's actually quite a hard game, as most people know. Well, Nocturne is... I don't know, I actually called it Nocturne automatically, even though it's called Lucifer's Call in the UK. But yeah, personally I just love one-on-one battles with actual humans as the final boss, because like, there's more emotion, you know. If you're fighting a god, they tend to have no emotion, they're just these evil things for being evil, you know. So it would be cool to have a one-on-one battle similar to Royal's final boss, which I did love. That was very nice. Another thing that would take a lot of work, but it would be cool, is fully voice acted confidant scenes. Having all those voice lines would take a lot of work and a lot of extra, you know, budget on Atlus's end. So I can understand why they don't do it, but it would be cool just for immersion, you know, because like you go into the confidant scene and then it's just like phonetics. They're just like saying yes, and then you have to read the actual dialogue yourself. But it would be cool to have it fully voice acted. And lastly, of course, we need Atlus to milk the Persona 6 dry. Just so it can tide you over to Persona 7, you know. We need Persona 5 racing, Persona 5 dancing, Persona 5 gambling. I can't even think of any more. Persona 5 go-karting, Persona 5 swimming, Persona 5 coffee class, connoisseur, deluxe edition. So yeah, any spin-offs in general are welcome because Atlus just do make quality games, you know. Persona 5 was great. They made Persona 5 Royal, which made a great ending. Obviously, the main part of the game wasn't changed, but it was already a great game in the first place, so the Royal aspect made it great at the end. Scramble was great on its own. You wouldn't think, because it is a spin-off, you wouldn't think they would put that much effort into it, but it was a really good game. The dancing games, Persona 5 dancing was a bit weak. Persona 4 and 3, both good games. Especially Persona 4, because that actually had a story, which is kind of cool. And obviously you've got Persona Q and Q2, both great games again. Sadly they didn't voice act those into English, but obviously it's a 3DS game, so it wasn't going to do amazingly well despite the 3DS being quite a big console. So that's all I can think of for today for Persona 6. It would be cool. I'm not sure when it would be announced. I assume like 2022, 2023. Don't hold me to it, but hopefully it does come out soon, because I do need that Persona fix. I think we all do, especially the Switch people that don't really get much of that kind of chance. But anyway, like I said, this is like my first talking / discussion video, so hopefully you did enjoy it, and if you did, I would appreciate if you drop a like, possibly subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.